Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 most working features of Facebook organic lead generation right now, like in 2022, like what you should do if you want to get leads organically from Facebook right working right now. As an entrepreneur, you have to have organic reach. You should not rely only on for the long-term scaling and the long-term growth, I think, and for the engagement and for knowing your customers and your target audience, organic lead generation, organic reach is crucial. It's very important. So although the algorithm has been changing, there are some tips that we can give you that will increase your organic reach if you adhere to them. So, and why I'm doing this post, because we know with the change of the algorithm, the normal organic reach right now is around 5%. So if you have, let's say you have a followers of about 1,000 in your Facebook business page, then perhaps only around 50 of them are going to see your post, or not to see it, but it will be shown to them. And from those, maybe also a smaller fraction is going to actually watch your post or read it. So that's very little, right? So, but there are ways to improve on that. And that's why I'm going to give you these tips in order to make it simpler and easier for you to utilize that organic reach without needing to reside inside Facebook the whole day. My name is Dr. Kaey, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos I post on this channel. So tip number 1 for Facebook organic lead generation is to use visual posts. And with visual posts, I mean both images and video. So use around 40% of your posts should be image-based, and maybe around 30 should be video. The other way around, it doesn't matter, but at least 70% of your post should be an image or video, and then the remaining post, almost most of them, should be of those colored background short text posts, right? Like just asking a question and taking one of those nice little backgrounds on it, even with an avatar and things like that. This is what you should post. Long text posts that looks like blogs are not working anymore for organic reach on or your personal profile. They still work inside groups, but they don't work quite well, and the algorithm don't get them quite well inside a Facebook business page. So make sure that you use a lot of images, a lot of video, and a lot of color background short post. And what you should do when you are posting an image, there's also one post which is not doing very well, a pure link post where you put a link inside the text of the post. Facebook doesn't want people to go away to another website, so those get the least amount of reach. So if you have a link, just put the URL on the image itself, or put the URL in the video during, like at some stage in the video, or just leave it there as a lower third, for example. And if you are not expecting a lot of shares of your post, you can leave the URL link on the first comment. But if the post is going to be shared, maybe that's not the best idea. But make sure that your URL is on the post, is on the actual image or actual video itself. And also add a caption. Always add a caption in your videos and your images with SEO in mind, so that your image or your video be ranked on Google or other search engines, so that you get extra reach with SEO. So that's tip number 1. The majority of your posts should be video or image if you want to get lead generation, if you want to drive leads off of your Facebook. And regarding video, it has been shown that videos of 5 minutes or longer perform much better than very short videos. So make sure that your videos are 5 minutes or longer. If you can, then make them at least 3 minutes. So the longer the video, the better it performs. Tip number 2 for organic lead generation using Facebook is Facebook Live, going live video. Yeah, I think that's not a surprise. Live video is still a very effective way, although it's becoming less effective than maybe 2 years ago, but it's still very effective, especially if you don't go very often. So go live perhaps once a week, twice a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks. And the most important thing is to announce that you are going live, to announce it in advance using an event. So you can schedule a live event on Facebook, and then to announce that you are going live. You can even boost it a little bit that event, you can boost it so that many people will know that you are going live. They will know when you are going and what are you going to talk about. And the other advantage is that you can use that event, like the graphic you are using to announce the event, you can use it as a way to drive leads to your email list, for example. You can add a call to action to it on the actual graphic so that you get leads to your email list of that. So going live is still a very effective way for lead generation, organic lead generation using Facebook. So one of the biggest advantages of going live is that after the live, you should save that video for replay. It will stay on your Facebook page, and many people are going to watch the replay, the playback of that live. So maybe a few people will attend the live, but it can be many people are going to reach it later on. So that's an added value. So make sure that you have your call to action inside there, even for people who are not attending live. So live video is still hot in 2022. So the third thing that you can do for organic lead generation using Facebook in 2022, this is very underutilized, and this is Facebook events. You can announce an event in Facebook, and then you can, for example, you can broadcast your webinar inside an event. You can schedule an event, and then you can have a webinar, you can have a summit, you can have whatever you want to have as an event. It can be recorded. It doesn't have to be an actual live webinar. It can be recorded, but then you broadcast it or you play it back during the time that you set for that event. So events are working, and this is a huge tip. Not a lot of entrepreneurs are using events, but Facebook events the algorithm still drives enough traffic to Facebook events. So if you are struggling in getting organic leads from Facebook, I would highly recommend to consider using Facebook events, where you can stream your webinar or whatever you want. You can do it live by yourself, but you can also have a pre-recorded webinar just be streamed live inside your event, and then you can show up after the webinar. You can show up for a Q&A if possible, and I think that's a huge opportunity which is underutilized by entrepreneurs. So another advantage of events, it can be free. Most of the time it's a free event, but you can give an offer inside the event at the end of the event. But it can also be a paid event, for example. So there are many ways to use the event feature in Facebook. So tip number 4 for organic lead generation from Facebook, and this is huge for people who are like me, who are introverts. Maybe if you are not camera ready. I used to be shy on camera. This is a huge opportunity. Not many people are using it as entrepreneurs, but Facebook rooms, live rooms, Facebook live rooms, it's audio only, and it's live audio. It's like having your live podcast. So that's very huge if you are camera shy, or if you want like to talk to your people instead of just having them type their comments during a live video. If you want that they actually talk to you, it's like in Clubhouse, if you are familiar with Clubhouse, or Twitter Spaces. You have also to announce it in advance. You just announce that you are creating this live room where I think around 25 people can be there. I may be wrong, I'm not sure, but the last time that I checked, it was about 25 people who can be inside there. And then you talk about one topic, and then you ask the attendees also to raise their hand, and then they can talk. And so it's much fun. You can use it for like a webinar. It depends. You can use it also like just to have regular Q&A engagement with your customers. So, or you can use it indeed for new leads and so on. So Facebook live rooms is a huge opportunity, and I would highly recommend to use it if you don't want to use Facebook live video. And then number 5 tip for organic lead generation using Facebook is, of course, the well-known Facebook groups. It's still working. Facebook groups are still crushing it. You can use them for many things. I mean, the way you can use Facebook groups is endless, actually. You can use them to drive leads. You can use them to deliver your product. Also, you can use them to deliver your webinars or your sales pitch. So there are many ways to use Facebook groups. You can go live inside the group. You can post. You can engage with your audience. You can send them to your lead magnets in order for them to join your email list. So there are many ways to use Facebook groups. One of the biggest advantages of having your own Facebook group is that when people come to join the group, you can ask them to give you their email address. like what you can add a couple of questions in order to verify people for joining the group, and one of those questions can be your email address. So then that's a very good way also to build your email list. So there you have them, the 5 tips. I will summarize them, and then I will give you one more tip, which is actually right now, which is what you should consider. So tip number 1, your content should almost always be visual. And with visual, I mean images, videos, and color background posts. That is tip number 1. And if you are using video, make sure that it's at least 3 minutes, but 5 minutes or longer works even better. And then tip number 2 is Facebook Live. We know about it. Tip number 3 is Facebook events. And tip number 4 is the live rooms. And tip number 5 is the Facebook groups. So if you combine all of those, or at least 3 of them, if you combine 3 of them, you will have massive Facebook organic reach. But if you are using only one of them, your organic reach, the algorithm may limit your organic reach. But if you combine all of this, you will get a huge organic reach. And the final tip that I wanted to give you, the surprise tip, is post less often. So previously, even until recently, we used to advise people to post at least 2, 3, or 4 times a day in to keep their community engaged. But recently, the algorithm, if some of your posts don't get a lot of engagement, the algorithm tends to send you less reach. So the advice is to post maybe at most once a day. So I would highly recommend you to post about once a day or every second day. And that should be enough to get, if your posts are of high quality, that should be enough to get you, in combination with the other things like going live once a week and like utilizing Facebook events and announcements and things like that, that will increase your lead generation organically from Facebook. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button so that you get notified whenever I post a new video with new tips on organic lead generation or social media marketing or digital marketing in general. My name is Dr. Kaey. Take it easy.